thanks very much. Hi everyone. Thanks for tuning in, especially you guys who come into the chat room. Um, and I'll be putting this up on YouTube to watch again if you couldn't make it tonight. So thanks for anyone that's tuned in to watch that as well. So I tell you what, I consider myself to be quite kind of tech-minded, but these live streams are not proving that that's probably not the case. So I'll go back and see everyone who have we got in the live chat tonight. So we've got Mark in. Hi Mark. We've got Millennium War Games. Hi there mate. How you doing, Barry? We've got Michael from Miniature Peyton. We've got Red Beam Designs in as well. Nice to see you, mate. Happy birthday as well. We've got Matt from Rocky's War Room. Sam's in tonight. Hi Sam. Hope you're well as well. Six Gunner. Jay from Tabletop. We've got the T-Chad. Was that right? We've got Underdog Painting and we've got Wargamer online as well. So hi Baz, and I mentioned before I wasn't sure from Wargamer online who's in tonight, so I'll just say hi until was better on mute. Yeah, I'm sure it probably was as well. So how's everyone? Hope your Monday's not gone too bad. Had a bit of a kind of a mixed day today, so obviously was working. And I managed to do a little bit of work on my Shadespire table, on my Shadespire board, just before work and a little bit over lunch. And then the afternoon just went nuts, so I didn't get a chance to do my video today. So I thought we'll have a live stream instead. So, and also as we've got Halloween tomorrow night, I thought we'd have a bit of a horror kind of themed game night. So we'll have a chat about some of the horror sort of themed games that you guys play or that you would recommend for others to play. So we've got, Baza. Sorry, not Barry, it's Baza. And hi, Trevor, as well. So we'll kick the ball off rolling. One game that I've seen recently, and I think it's only just come out, is a game called Dracula's America. And it is basically based upon an alternative history where Dracula becomes the president of the United States. And I must admit, it's a game that quite interested me purely from that theme alone. So have any of you guys heard of it? Have any of you played it? I've seen that. I forget the company actually that's been making the miniatures for it now. I'm just reading there. My son Sam's online there, and he said any game with me is a nightmare. Thanks, Sam. That's just because because you tend to win as well, don't you? So yeah, Dracula's America. It's a game that I think I'm trying to remember who produces it now. My mind's gone completely blank. But yeah, the theme of the game, it sounds really, really good. Obviously, we've got games like Walking Dead, perfectly suited for a Halloween night, Zombicide, all that kind of things. But what about you folks in the chat? Have you got any games that you would recommend for a Halloween night? I know that Pete, who is Panzer Kaput, I think it is his YouTube name. He was playing a game of Witchfinder General this week as well. He's been painting up some miniatures for that. That looked really good as well. Six Gunner saying he's heard about it on the Tabletop Minion show. Yeah, it's something I saw when it was kickstarted not too long ago, and it seems to be starting to sort of gather a bit of pace now. I think you can buy the book sort of Amazon or game stores and stuff. It could be real Trump's blood sucking dude. Yeah, to be honest, maybe it's come true already, then it. Haven't Vampire for President? Let's do it. Yeah, it sounds really interesting. There's quite a lot of kind of real kind of interesting elements to that alternative history. Millennium War Games is seen the new units on Kings of War Vanguard. There's some really, really interesting units coming for that, and some of the artwork that's coming out of Mantic is, I would say, it's a step up for them. I've not seen that kind of level of stuff coming out. One Night Ultimate Werewolf. Do you know what, Mark? I've heard lots of people mention that, but I'm not really sure what it is. Is this the game where you all kind of sit around in a circle and one of you is the werewolf and you have to try and guess who it is? Is that the one? Playing 40k is always pretty scary for me, mainly because I'm not going to swear, actually. Do you know what it is? When we did the live stream on Friday, I swore, right? Because somebody said, don't say F or B. And I said it out loud, and now that video has now been demonetized. So I'm not going to do any swear words tonight. think it might be Osprey. That's who it is. It is Osprey publishing. Who's publishing the Osprey are publishing the book. I forget what the company is. Who have been making some miniatures for it. Never played it, but Malifaux needs to have a nice style. I played quite a lot of Malifaux a number of years ago, and I'm actually playing again on Thursday at our games club. We're having a Halloween game of Malifaux. It's an excellent game, really, really thematic as well. Some of the kind of the history of it, the background, and the characters are excellent. If it's not something that you've ever heard about or anything, go online to the Weird Games website and just read some of the background stories that are free on there. It's really, really excellent. GW's prices are scary. Yeah, they certainly make the blood drain from you, don't they, sometimes. Malifaux, again, good Halloween game with horror-style warbands. They actually, if I remember right, I think it was a Gen Con exclusive. They did a kind of like an undead version of, I think it was the Lady Justice crew, where Lady Justice was kind of holding a head in her hand and she was headless, and there was a few zombie things. It was really, really nice models. So we've got Conflict 47. Am I right in thinking that's kind of like an alternative history version of Bolt Action? I think I've read something about that recently. Sorry about that. Really am bad at the game. Don't worry about that. Yeah, I must admit I've not played 40k in a long time, and I keep threatening to play it, but my bad experiences have put me off it as well. It might be to do with that asking for the pictures. Maybe that's what it was. Chupacabra Survive the Night is a fun and quick dice game to play in 10 minutes between longer games. Dice would work for Halloween theme. So, Trevor, isn't it? Yeah. Tell me a bit more about that. Not really sure what that game is. Never heard of it. So it'll be interesting to understand what that is. So yeah, so like I said, I'm going to my local games club on Thursday night. I've not been for a while because I've been working away in Manchester, so I've missed sort of a few of our games nights. But one of the guys in the club, Cam, who's also in the Facebook group as well, he set up a Malifaux Halloween themed game, and he's got something kind of special lined up for us on Thursday. So I'm really looking forward to playing that. Six Gunner says, I was fighting with myself for a couple of weeks to buy or not buy Shadespire. Ordered it yesterday. Do you know what? I mean, I don't know whether you've seen my Shadespire videos, but I made a couple about them before it came out and about the amount of information that we had available at the time. And it was a game that I wasn't 100% sure about either. I wasn't sure where it fitted in gaming, who was the target audience, if you like. But actually, I did pick it up, and I've played it probably about 3 or 4 times now. A couple of games with my sons a couple of weekends ago. And actually, I think it's got some potential. I'm not sure it's this sort of massive tournament kind of X-Wing Magic type thing yet. I think we won't see that probably for about 6 months when there's more war bands out. So we've got the Orcs and the Skeletons coming out. Is it next weekend? I think it might be actually, or you can pre-order them this weekend, ready for the weekend after. And then in Q1, so early January, we've got the Skaven and the Fire Slayers, the Dwarves. We've got them coming out. So by that point, we'll have 6 war bands. There'll be a lot more cards in to start your deck building. And I think that's probably when we'll start to see whether this has got potential to kick on from there. Plague Inc., the board game, is nuts. Again, Mike, that's not a game I've heard of either. So be interesting to hear a bit more about that. They've seen the Fallout board game on Beasts of War. Yeah, I think I'm right in thinking the Fallout game actually caught a few people by surprise when the prices were announced for it. I don't think it's particularly cheap, that. Selling 2 Predators to get funds for All Out War. Do you know what it is, Barry? You'll not be disappointed. All Out War. Excuse me, this Pepsi giving me a bit of wind there. All Out War is probably, I would say it was probably my game of the year. So I got the Kickstarter back in November last year. It got delivered, and it's probably the game I've enjoyed most over the last 12 months. And it's also the game that gave me a bit of a kickstart on YouTube as well. So I suppose I've got a soft spot for it as well. Russell, sup. Nice to see you, Russell. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the group. Mark says he's pre-ordered his today as well. The 2 war bands, the dice and the sleeves. I got the sleeves as well when I bought it on launch day. I think if for anybody that hasn't picked it up yet, I think certainly if you don't buy the GW sleeves, definitely buy some sleeves for it. They're standard size cards, the same as Magic cards and stuff, so you can buy sleeves anywhere. But definitely get sleeves from them. The cards are probably a little bit thinner than I would like. I would say certainly not as good a quality as the cards from All Out War as an example. Or I've been playing quite a lot of Star Wars Destiny, and the quality of those cards is definitely a little bit better. Six gonna got the sleeves as well. Trev saying you all throw a dice and you can roll bulls, goats, or chickens as your farm, or the Chupacabra, Latin American mythical monster, eats the animals. Dice glow in the dark. I've seen another dice game. Was it a zombie dice game or something that had glow in the dark dice as well. That'd be quite interesting. Matt saying Shadespire looks fun, but can't bring myself to buying it. Do you know what, Matt? If you're on the fence about it, definitely don't buy it yet. Definitely give it probably till January to let some more stuff come out, and then let's see where it goes. I mean, it's not very expensive. Certainly, I think you're in America if I'm right, either America or Canada. I'm not sure, but from a UK perspective, it's £40 from Games Workshop, and online you can some places had it with 25% off. I think you can certainly buy it with 10 to 20% off on most online stores. So actually, for a kind of to dip your toe in the water, even if it's just for the miniatures, it's not bad value actually. And I was a little bit worried the upgrade war bands were going to be quite expensive, but actually they're £17.50 in the UK. And again, I mean, a local store to me is having an opening weekend deal on them for 25% off. So it brings them down to kind of under £14, which it kind of, I wasn't sure if I was going to buy all of the war bands, but for that price, I think I'll probably pick them up, even just for the cards. Andy, I've never heard any hype about the other Kickstarter, Walking Dead No Sanctuary game. Are you going to look into that? I think I'm right in thinking that the Walking Dead No Sanctuary game is based upon the TV show rather than the actual the comic books. And I did see something when it was first mentioned, but it wasn't by a company I'd actually heard much of it. It felt like it was more like, you know, when you get these kind of Star Wars Monopoly things and stuff, and it's just it didn't feel anything special. I watched a bit of a playthrough of it, and it wasn't great. So I'll probably keep an eye on it in case it's a bit of a kind of sleeping giant, but I can't see me picking it up. I'm happy with the Walking Dead game I've got. What we got here as well. We've got Russell saying, passed on Shadespire to get to Necromunda later in the month. I'm not enthused with what I've seen so far, so I guess I'm holding up for Star Wars Legion. Necromunda, I don't know if I mentioned this on Friday's stream, but it's not a game I've ever played, and I don't know a lot about it from the original one. What I know about it now is what I've learned from the new release and from speaking to guys in my games group. And they all really sang Necromunda's praises from back in the day. The thing that puts me off buying into Necromunda this time is everything I've heard about it is it plays so much better with 3D scenery and 3D terrain. And I personally don't have a lot of kind of futuristic 3D terrain. And there's nothing coming in the box. If it come with stuff in the box, I probably would have bought it just for the terrain. So that kind of put me off a little bit. And from what I understand as well, you level up. So at the end of every kind of game or every round or whatever it is, your characters level up a bit like the teams do in Blood Bowl. And for me, it would be more one-off games rather than a prolonged kind of campaign. So that's put me off a little bit at the minute. But it's cheap enough, I think, again, that I might pick up a warband if friends are playing it. Star Wars Legion, I'm all over that like a rash. I can't wait for Star Wars Legion to come. I just wish it was here now. Mark's saying that the GW sleeves are a little tight. Yeah, they are quite tight actually. I did find that as well, but I guess once they're in there, they're not coming out again. Although I suppose once you're doing your deck building, that's a different thing, isn't it? Jay from Tabletop Oddity saying he was on the fence about Shadespire, but thought it could wait. Don't like deck building. I must admit, the deck building put me off until I'd started playing Star Wars Destiny, and actually, I'm quite enjoying the deck building side of that. I'd never played deck building games before, so I think I was kind of put off it by the idea more than the actual deck building itself. So I think until we see how many cards there's going to be, because at the minute there's not that many to choose from, so the deck building's relatively straightforward. I think there's some cards that are very obviously auto includes, and if you go online, the likes of the I forget what it's called now, but the Warhammer forums online, is it TGF? I think it is. I forget the name now, but there'll be a lot of like net listed stuff on there. So if you didn't like that bit, I'm sure there's ways around it. Michael saying he put back Shadespire 2 mostly because he's going to be afraid of the booster prices. Yeah, I don't think it's going to turn into that kind of Magic the Gathering kind of expensive booster price. Like I say, $17.50 in the UK from a GW price. I personally don't think it's too bad, actually. It's more about how often they come out. We've got Rocky Matt in the USA. Yep. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if you told me before, and I knew you've got an American accent, but Canadian and American accents are very, very similar to us in the UK. I've been hearing good things about Arkham Horror. Can't say I know much about it myself. Yeah, Arkham Horror. There's a few different things, isn't there? There's the Arkham Horror board game. There's an Arkham Horror card game, I think. But I don't know if anybody watches Amazon. If you've got Amazon Prime membership and you watch Amazon, there's a show that's come on recently called Lore, Lore, which is based upon kind of historical events. And the Lore TV show is based upon the Lore podcast. So if you're into podcasts, go and have a look for Lore podcast. And it's stories, kind of horrific stories or horror stories based upon real life events. And one of those stories, I'll get to the point of this in a minute. One of those stories was about the asylum that Arkham sort of the history is based upon. So the H.P. Lovecraft stories were based upon this particular asylum, and some of the stories are horrific. Definitely worth one listening if you're into horror or you're into kind of podcasts. Best part of Shadespire is the war bands can be used in Age of Sigmar. Yeah, I mean they've already started releasing the war scrolls for those now as well, haven't they? So that's I know a few guys who are just picking it up purely for the models themselves. Any of you played Batman miniature game? Just ordered Deep Cut Studio Gotham playmat for Necromunda. Oh, okay. I picked up the Batman miniatures game rulebook at Salute about 2 or 3 years ago, I think it was, and I picked up a few miniatures. But at the time, I must admit, I didn't actually get to play it, if I'm honest. And then something else caught my eye, and off I went. Miniatures the miniatures look excellent when you see them online because the paint jobs that they do on them are fantastic. But I found that the ones I had were a little bit soft in the features. I might have got bad casts, so I wouldn't say they're all like that. But I know they've recently re-released the rules, and the new models I think are coloured resin, and they look pretty sharp actually. Is anyone here from Medway by any chance? Is Medway where you live? Is it Barry? I think I'll have to wait and see what happens till January. Yeah, I think Star Wars is just it's just kind of weird. And you might be talking about Shadespire there as well. Michael saying Red Beam Designs can help you out, Andy. His red sector is amazing. Do you know what it is? The competition that Red Beam Designs had recently was won by a guy in my gaming group, and he saw that because I'd shared the post to my gaming group as well. So that Red Beam Designs terrain will be used in our gaming group. Unfortunately, I don't get to go there as often as I'd like to. Red Beam saying you want to play Necromunda, I'm sure we can probably help you out. See, this is what happens. For once, I was being really strong about I'm not going to pick that up, and now all of a sudden, maybe I might. Let's catch up. Let's chat about that one offline. MTG and more ring a bell at Red Beam Designs. Do you know, for anybody actually that hasn't had a look, you should head over to Red Beam Designs website. They have a multitude of different things, so acrylic tokens, MDF terrain. There's they've just recently been doing some sort of game boards for Batman miniatures game and for X-Wing, I think it is as well, to hold all of your cards. They do some for Walking Dead. Excellent quality stuff. The stuff that I've bought has been fantastic. It really has. And I can't say I've not been sent anything for free to review or anything like that. Everything I've reviewed on my channel has all been purchased by me. and I can't speak highly enough, head over there, and Graham will certainly sort you out. If everyone likes Star Wars Legion, check out Oddity's channel. Yep. So again, Jay from Tabletop Oddity, lots of Star Wars stuff on there, some good terrain making as well, so head over and check that out. Michael, sorry, didn't realise that was Michael. Hello there. Yeah. So also a bit of an update for everyone as well, while I remember me on seeing Michael's name there. So you may have seen some of the pictures I've been doing on the Facebook group. I've also put some on Instagram and on Twitter as well about the Shadespire board I'm making. And those Shadespire tiles, the tiles I'm using for that, were supplied by Michael from he's got a Kickstarter which launches in 2 days' time for those MDF tiles. And the idea of them is basically so that you can use them to build up a hex-based campaign, and you can kind of sort of map out who wins each battle and stuff, and see that the campaign map grow. But what we're also finding now is there's other people are starting to see them. We can obviously build Shadespire board out of them. People are using them for D&D campaigns. There's so many different things that you can use them for. Again, I was sent them to have a look at to try and build a Shadespire board, which is what I'm doing. But the quality of the cuts, the quality of the tiles is fantastic. If it's something you're interested in, head over to Neverending Wars on Facebook. Kickstarter's in 2 days' time. Really do hope that it gets funded. Panzer Kaput, hi there. How are you doing? I was just talking about you actually at the start of this, saying that you had a game of Witchfinder General. We were talking about Halloween-themed games, and I mentioned about that game that you'd been playing and painted up an unbelievable amount of models in such a short space of time. Just browsing the interwebs, looking at Red Beam. Yeah, definitely worth it. And yeah, Graham, I mean, like I said before, I've bought everything, and I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't think it was worth the money. Fantastic stuff. You've probably seen Games Workshop have just released, or they're about to release, a very strange looking sort of model holder for when you're painting. Red Beam Designs make their own versions as well, and have done long before GW jumped on the bandwagon, so it's worth checking those out too. What colour are you doing your Shadespire tiles? It looked a little blue. Am I going crazy? No, you're not going crazy. They started off as a bit of a grey colour, but I kind of dry brushed them with a light blue to try and kind of give them a bit of a shimmering effect, if you like. But they look really, really blue on the pictures. They don't look that blue in real life, but yeah, I think if I put them on camera, they're going to look really blue. There's also little rules attached to the board. I didn't realise that, Michael, actually, so that's interesting. Christian, hi Christian, nice to see you in here as well. Matt saying will be interested in that Kickstarter. What I'll do is, my plan was for today was to do a video about the board, but I think I'll probably do that for Wednesday, because hopefully tomorrow night my wife's away with work, I'm on my own with the baby, so I'll be putting him to bed, and then I'm going to get that board finished. So hopefully Wednesday's video will be the finished Shadespire board. Panzer Kaput saying thanks, was a great game. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. It looked fantastic from the pictures. I'm just laughing at Graham from Red Beam Design. His comment there, he's saying I probably can't say that either. Do you know what it is? Everyone online is saying that's exactly what it looks like. I won't say the words out, as I mentioned earlier on. My last video got demonetized because I think I swore during it, so I'm just going to keep this one quiet. And miniature painting, Michael saying he'll send the rules. Yeah, that'd be cool. Just to have a look at them. Actually, I can always just kind of give you a bit of feedback, see what I think of them as well. So yeah, to be honest, I've got quite a lot of stuff going on in the background at the minute, but nothing really ready to make videos on, and that's making it quite difficult to make videos. Hence why these live streaming's been a good idea, because you guys keep the chat going, and it gives us loads of things to talk about. So I've started, what have I been doing? I've started painting up some Primaris Marines, just because I've had them since I bought the Dark Imperium set. I wanted to try and get them finished. So I've started painting some Space Marines. I've been doing the Shadespire board. Started painting the Shadespire models as well. Determined to get those finished. I've got the Walking Dead stuff that I'm kind of midway through filming the Survivors set for that. I just feel like I've got like loads of plates spinning in the background at the minute, but I've not managed to kind of get anything to a finished state that I can get on the camera. Eventually I'll get to a point and it'll just be, the videos will be churning themselves out, but I'm kind of in the middle of a million projects at the minute. Tabletop Oddity saying he just realised he'd seen Red Beam design stuff without realising it. Yeah, that X-Wing dashboard is an excellent idea. And he's saying that he tried to 3D print something similar but was naff in comparison. One thing I'll say about the Red Beam stuff is for the price, I don't think there's anyone out there can match it. It's really is excellent quality, but not only excellent quality at a fantastic price as well. Millennium War Games, is everyone going to Salute 2018? Throw that one out there. Is everyone going to Salute 2018? I've already kind of put my hat in the ring. I'll be going down, and I'll be probably meeting up with Barry as well. If anybody else is in Salute next year, it's in April, and you want to kind of meet up for a coffee at lunchtime or something like that, I'd be happy to kind of meet up. We can grab a sandwich together or something and have a bit of a natter. So that would be good to see a few friendly faces. And I've also promised as well that I will definitely be doing a demo of Blood and Plunder as well with Pete. Red Beam Designs was on a train to London today. People kept sending me pictures of it. I shouldn't think what anyone who could see my laptop thought I was looking at. I assume you're still talking about the GW handheld device. I think that's the less said about that, the better. Michael said last video got demonetized because I had zombie genes. The official remark from YouTube. There's been a lot of people getting videos demonetized. What they're basically saying is that they're restricted and they're not suitable for all viewers or all advertisers. So I think since they had that big fallout earlier on this year, they've been a little bit overzealous. I've been quite fortunate. I think this is the first one that's happened to me. You can not that I'm ever going to be a millionaire from YouTube ad revenue, but I think kind of like the 20p I make off it, it's not really worth arguing the toss over, is it? Mark's planning to go to Salute as well. Be good to see you, Mark, if you're around. Panzer saying he's going to demo on Blood and Plunder. Yeah, so I'll be looking for you, Pirate Pete. Is Salute more war games? Going to go to the Board Game Expo in Birmingham. So, Jay, Salute is pretty much all wargaming. So it's in the XL building in London. Imagine the biggest leisure centre or the biggest sports hall from school you've ever seen in your life. And it's just filled with retailers and demo games. It's kind of, from a wargaming perspective, it is the ultimate wargaming convention, I would say. Go with plenty of money in your pocket because you'll always find something you want to spend. You want to spend money on. The UK Games Expo in Birmingham, I went this year and managed to get a press pass and went for I got in early to do some interviews and things and then have a look around. I find that it's less miniature gaming, although there is a lot of miniature gaming there. It's less miniature gaming, more board gaming, but it's much more polished. It's much more professional. The big guys are there, people like Fantasy Flight. You still get guys like Mantic and other wargaming companies as well. But I would say that UK Games Expo I think it's on over 3 or 4 days now, and it's especially being in the northwest as well, so it's not too far for you. Definitely worth a trip. It's much more professional, and it feels like a nicer environment, I would say. Panzer agrees about the Red Beam stuff. Deep Cut Map Review got demonetized. Yeah, do you know what it is? Battle, war, sort of those kind of words seem to flag up. I don't know if it's because of kind of connotations with real war and everything else, but it seems to flag up a lot of issues. I watched your video, G. Actually, that map looks excellent, and I was surprised to see that little logo in the corner as well. It does kind of detract from it, doesn't it? Michael saying he's at Crisis next week, but that's because you're in mainland Europe. So is it Essenspiel, I think, has just been this weekend gone. Is Crisis more of a miniature gaming one, Michael? Definitely don't show any pictures of it. I wonder if I don't know whether their algorithms pick up pictures. Maybe I could show a picture of it, but no, I'm not going to, just in case. Michael, I was sitting in my underpants and painting the sorcerers for Frostgrave and managed to drop the whole model after glazing it. Unfortunately, my legs were quick enough. So you've got a model glazed to the inside of your leg now, right? That's a beautiful thought, and I won't be getting rid of that visual image anytime soon. Bazza saying you might see what the crack is about. Do you know what, Bazza? It's worth a trip, mate. I think the problem with Salute is for us guys up in the northeast, it's a bit of a trek down to London. and because it's only one day, it doesn't feel right to make it an overnight because you're just traveling back on a dead day kind of thing. So it's worth it, but I guess these days with so much internet stuff, it's probably not as beneficial as it used to be. It's good for demoing games. It's good for meeting up with a few mates and stuff that you maybe don't get to see very often. But if you just want to spend money, that I think the show deals tend not to be that much better than some of the online deals that you can get. I'm quite good with my wallet. Go to Comic Con all the time and never go overboard. What I tend to do is I tend to take cash with me up to the limit that I want to spend, and I don't spend on my credit card when I'm there if I can help it, unless I see a fantastic deal. Get on the bandwagon, Bazza. So it's a wargaming convention, the biggest in mainland Europe. I've heard of Crisis, but I've just never don't know much about it, to be honest. Whereabouts is it based? I saw a P-Work review by Winters SEO, and they had a logo. Yeah, I was surprised about it. I've got a couple of mats from Game Mat EU, and they don't have any logos in the corners or anything like that. One of them, the print on it looks a little bit almost like it's slipped a little bit in the printer. So, but other than that, the quality of the mats are really good. And by the time you've got the terrain on, you don't notice it. But yeah, I'm really surprised to see some of them have logos in the corner. I guess it's just they want to kind of show off who makes it, I suppose. But yeah, there you go. He says with a logo up in the corner as well. Crisis Wargame Show, modern board game. Yeah. Salute for Belgium. Okay. Yeah. So it's, I guess, in America, I suppose we've probably got Gen Con is more board games, I think, these days, and I think it's the one that's in Chicago. The name escapes me now. Is it Adepticon? I think is more the kind of wargaming one, but I think it's much more tournament based. I think rather than the kind of the purchase side of things. Adam, hi Adam, nice to see you, mate. What's happening? You late? Was watching Robot Wars. God, that brings back some memories. Robot Wars. I saw an advert today for kids' toys, and it looked like proper Robot Wars rip-offs, but they weren't called Robot Wars. They were called like Battle Bots or something. There's a good bloggers meet at Salute. Is there, Panzer? I don't know whether anybody realises this, but this YouTube channel has been going 1 year exactly this week. So I've never actually been to Salute because I never went this year. I was on holiday at the time, I think. I've never been to Salute like as a YouTube. I feel so terrible to say, but as somebody who makes YouTube videos, I've never been to Salute to do kind of interviews or to get any video or anything. So that might be quite good to kind of meet up with a few faces as well. Based in Antwerp in an old hangar. Okay, well, that sounds pretty cool. I'll have to look online for some pictures and videos of that one. Adam, me and the future wife love it. Well, there you go, Adam. If you've got a love of Robot Wars together, that's a match made in heaven there, isn't it? Game at EU does a suitable 6x3 or buy theirs. Yeah, there's not. I think there's only. I think Fantasy Flight they've kind of started off this 6x3 tabletop thing because Rune Wars I think is played on a 6x3 as well. BattleBots is the American one. That's probably why I've seen it. It was probably on some Disney XD thing or something like that. I probably saw it this morning. That's what it'll be. Gen Con's more board games. Adepticon's more for miniature games. I really, really want to go to America next year to one of the big ones. And I'll be honest, that the one that's really kind of tempting me for no other reason than its location would be the Las Vegas Open. But it's in January and that just feels a little bit soon. I've on the quiet already priced up some flights and hotels and things. And it's not as bad as I expected it to be. But I love Las Vegas. So I think a cheeky weekend in Las Vegas might be nice. Maybe if YouTube suddenly, if my channel blows up and I start making millions, who knows? Panzer saying congrats on the 1 year. To be honest, I never ever thought I'd get to 1 year. When I made those first few videos, I didn't really know where the channel was going. I didn't really know what it was going to be about at that time. But I've really enjoyed it, and it's kind of nights like this with the community or chatting on Facebook or reading the comments and replying back. That's kind of what keeps me going. I quite enjoy making the videos and I enjoy editing them as well, but actually it's the interaction that keeps it good for me. Like to go to a convention next year, money allowing, don't know which one. Whereabouts are you based, Adam? Just rough location, and we'll see if there's a good one nearby you. I used to love Razor. That's one of the Robot Wars things, isn't it? Yeah. Actually, when I was at, is it? I think it's is it UK Games Expo. No, it wasn't. It was. I took the kids to. What's the computer gaming convention one? Is it? I forget what it is now, but the big one they have in Birmingham. Is it EGX? I think it was. I took the kids to EGX, and they had a big Robot Wars arena thing with Robot Wars in there as well. I have a small con I run in the Midwest. Is that something that's quite common, Matt? Because I hear quite a few people who run kind of smaller conventions over in the States. You enjoy editing, your mad lad. Randomly, I think I didn't enjoy it at first because I hated seeing myself on the screen in front of me and having to listen to myself talk. I detested that at first. And it took me quite a long time to get used to being on camera. But once I kind of got over the embarrassment of that, I actually quite do enjoy the editing process and trying to learn new tricks and things like that. I wouldn't want to do it for somebody else though, because it can be, especially editing battle reports. Anybody that uploads battle reports to YouTube, you've got no idea how long it takes to edit a battle report and take out all the little bits where you're stopping to read the rules and all that kind of stuff. It's a nightmare. Millennium War Games, you should see some of the mad. Yeah, I've not seen the later ones. So who's the host of Robot Wars these days? Because the last time I saw it was Craig Charles, I think. Sheffield. So Adam's in Sheffield. I'm trying to think if there's anything around Sheffield, and I mean, that's right, Adam. I remember now because you said that the Outpost is your local store, isn't it? I guess. I mean, there's just been one in Leeds recently, hasn't there? This weekend. Certainly, the one in York is January, February time, I think. The one in York at the racecourse is always pretty good. That's probably worth a one if it's not too far away for you. Definitely congrats on the first year. Yeah, congrats on your first year as well, Graham, as well. So Red Beam Designs has been going for a year as well. So they're having a bit of an anniversary as well. So, yeah, well done. Keep up the good work, mate. That's what I like too, the chat, the community, the fun. When I started this, I didn't go to a gaming group. Traveling around with work all of the time meant that I didn't really have a regular slot to play games with. And I buy loads of stuff with the intention of playing, but then find I have no one to play with or play against. So making it into a YouTube channel gave me a motivation a reason to paint my stuff, if you like, and then to chat to people. I never expected that the channel would grow to anywhere near the size it is now, and I appreciate it's still a relatively small channel in terms of YouTube, but for me, this is kind of tenfold where I ever expected it to be. So it's nice that as the channel grows, the community seems to be growing as well, and it's really really nice just to have that kind of community to chat with. I can't even. I don't even. I'm assuming they're all the robots, are they, mate? In Millennium War Games, seeing myself all the time is the best part. So Jay's obviously got a very no self-confidence issues from Jay. I'll give you that. I also noticed, mate, when you made that video, I think it was the X-Wing one when wasn't it? It was the Star Wars Legion, the expansions come out. You must have been on your way to bed, saw that news, and thought, I've got to make a video quick. I thought that was quite interesting. Congrats, buddy, on 1 year. Discovered you All Out War time. Yeah, so All Out, like I say, All Out War was probably my game of 2017. I definitely still enjoy playing it now, and it's still as fun as the first time I played it. And I was just really lucky. I think at the time when I made my first YouTube videos, it had just come out. There was a lot of interest in it, but nobody was really making videos, and I think I did kind of hit the jackpot, right place, right time. I think it was. Dara O'Brien and another Irish female presenter. Dara O'Brien gets himself about these days, doesn't he? He also does that other TV show, 8-Bit, which is based upon old computer games and stuff. I quite like watching that when it's on. Smaller cons are popular here. They're 15 a year within 4 hours of me. Wow, 15 a year? I tell you what, you could really tie yourself up, couldn't you? Like one a month, or maybe more than one a month, to just go to local conventions. Michael saying about channel growth, it's hard. Consider yourself lucky to become this big within a year. Do you know what it is? I don't consider myself as big, but when I see how many other channels there are, what I would say is that in general, you kind of have to not look at the subscriber numbers and not look at the views and just make the videos because you love making the videos. Because once you've made a few, if somebody watches another one of your videos will get recommended, and it starts to kind of snowball from there. But part of I can't really ever see me becoming like a big channel. Like you see, kind of what I mentioned on the stream on Friday about Luke's APS. His channel just exploded. He had that video about making rivers that just kind of got promoted by YouTube, had over 1 million views, and he probably gained about 10 to 12,000 subscribers almost overnight. I can't see me ever getting to those kind of size really. People like Tabletop Minions, Adam on there, his channel again is I think he's got like 60 odd thousand subscribers. I can't see this ever getting there. But if I can get over the next kind of 3 or 4 years, if I could get to 5,000, I think I'd be really I'd be absolutely chuffed. I thought I'd get 100 subscribers, but when I passed that, you kind of set yourself little goals. I was amazed to get to 1,000. If I can get to 5,000 in the next kind of 4 or 5 years, I think I'd be happy with that. I've kind of missed my way I am with the chat now. I'm trying to go really fight with my accent to reach 400 scrubs before the end of the year. Right, everybody. Anybody that isn't subscribed to Miniature Painting, head over there today and subscribe. He's got a competition, I think, to get to 250 subscribers, I think it is, and he's got a competition giveaway. So let's see if we can get him up to 250 first, and then get him on to 400. It's good to see the community grow, although in Finland, wargamers are still seen some kind of murder cultists. I think they're still seen like that in the UK, to be fair. I mean, all that thing that's kind of kicking around at the minute about Games Workshop and how they don't have a very diverse miniature range and how the background's all set about males and females aren't seen in a good light. I mean, even the fact that that's picked up a little bit of kind of momentum shows that miniature gaming is growing and it's on people's radars now. But I think people are still seen as that kind of the weedy beady blokes. I think that's kind of how we're all still seen really in the UK. Tabletop saying exactly it. Found the news at 9:40. Video release at 10:05 and bed by 10:10. I can't make videos that quick, mate. I really admire anybody that can. Excuse me. Adam saying, I think your branding and logo stand out. It's easy to make out on all screen sizes. Do you know what it is? That the little logo thing I've had pretty much since day one. It was purely by luck. I used to be really into airsoft. I've still got all my stuff hanging up here in my garage. And there was somebody who I was friends with on Twitter who was into airsoft, and that's how I got chatting to him. And he was part of like a gaming clan, like like PC gaming or console gaming. And he had a logo that basically had a face cut out the side of it. And I kind of thought I'll copy something like that. The BlackJack thing, I don't know if I've ever actually said where the name comes from. So when I was into airsoft, I set up an airsoft channel called BlackJack Airsoft. I've never uploaded any videos to it, but I had the head cam on and stuff on my helmet and stuff when I was playing it, and that was my intention to make airsoft videos. And in the background, I also set up BlackJack Legacy and BlackJack World as well. And the idea being, if I kind of got into it, I'd make them into a different kind of a channel. And the BlackJack thing just come about because I actually just like playing blackjack. So if I go to the casino, love going to Vegas. Vegas is definitely my favorite holiday destination. Love playing blackjack in Vegas. And it just sounded kind of cool. Back then, in my head, it sounded cool. So that was where it come from. Fiasco was pretty good. Went along for a quick look. Vapnartak, that's the one I was trying to think of, Graham. I played a War Machine tournament there a few years ago when I first started playing. First, I think I'd played one game of War Machine and then went to the tournament, got beat every single game, got the wooden spoon, won some paints, and won a free ticket for the next year. So it actually worked out all right for me. Tabletop Oddie, for anyone interested, to recommend BlackJack Legacy's own video advice about it. So yeah, that video on YouTube. Yeah, there's quite. I mean, I'll be honest, Jay. You seem to get quite a lot right from a thumbnail point of view and all of the tags and all the stuff that's in the background. It's not just about making the videos. You can really go dead in depth with it. Nick from Idic Beer, he's really into that kind of stuff. Me and him chat quite a bit on Messenger about kind of the background stuff about YouTube. RJ Bailey, hi mate. Love watching your videos on the toilet. Wish I hadn't said yes now. He likes to string it out as long as possible so we can see more of your stuff. I tell you what, mate, that is an image I will never get out of my head. And just to help you out, so for those who don't know, my real job in the real world, not making YouTube videos, this doesn't pay the mortgage, believe it or not. I'm a product development manager, a technical development manager, and the products that I design or that my team design are toilet rolls and kitchen towel. So if you buy that Cashel toilet roll with the little bear on it, that was designed by me and my team. So they are, when you're at the toilet now, you've got something else to think about. Tabletop Minion's been on YouTube for like 5 years. Tabletop Minion started off as a foreign correspondent for Beasts of War, which is why I think he got a bit of a kickstart in the early days. So I don't think he went from kind of complete anonymity like we do. Luke's super impressive. Luke does some really, really good stuff. He's got a great manner about him. He delivers it really well. And the stuff he churns out, I can't make stuff that fast. I'd run out of ideas before I got to the level he is. But people really do genuinely like to see how to make things. The stuff where I show how to build things or how to make a board or how to make my gaming table, they're by far and away the ones that do the most. And if I had more time on my hands, I'd concentrate on that side of things. But like I say, I'm just in this for the fun, really. Uncle Adam, that's the fella. Luke CPS definitely recommend. Yeah, the competition is sub for Michael's channel. Make a wacky comment by why you want the paint rack. Yeah, I was watching that and there's already some quite crazy comments. Adam saying, if it's not a wargaming convention, I might try to get a couple of tickets for Big Board Game UK one. Forget the name. I think it's the UK Games Expo. I think that's the one you're talking about, Adam. I would definitely recommend it if you're into board games as well as wargaming. It's by far the best one in the UK. If you're just into wargaming, maybe think about sort of saving up a little bit to get down to London for Salute. But if you're into board games as well, UK Games Expo is fantastic. Jay's saying he likes the mechanisms behind YouTube and do a fair chunk of research. I think that's the trick, really. I think if you can get your video ranking, it'll show up in people's kind of suggested videos. And I think once I realised that kind of stuff, my channel definitely took a bit of a quick upturn. And it was only kind of August this year when I worked that out. So it's really jumped quite quickly from that point. So how we're doing for time? 20 past 8. We're not doing too bad, actually, are we? My voice is going a bit. I woke up this morning full of cold, but I feel a bit better at this point of the day. I did just have a whiskey just to try and help my vocal cords before I started. Jay's saying, probably go to UK Games Expo, but not Salute. Yeah, that's the problem. It's a bugger to get to. I mean, train fares are horrendous these days in the UK. I mean, the train from me down to London can be like 80 quid if I don't book it well in advance. And sometimes with Salute, I'm not always 100% sure that I can make it, so I tend not to book the train ticket until the last minute. Miniature, the trick is in the likes. The more thumbs, the higher you get. That's how it used to be, Michael. It's not so much like that now. So YouTube now takes a more positive view on your video from a mixture of interactions, which is the likes and the thumbs down and the thumbs up in the comments. It also takes your audience retention. So that basically, if you have a 5-minute video and people watch 50% of it, your audience retention is 50%. If you can get them numbers over kind of 70%, then that stands you in really good stead as well. So I've had a few videos that I've got like 75, 80% audience retention on. I've got some that are like 25% as well. So I'm not any expert at it, but I find if I can keep my videos to 5 to 8 minutes, I can kind of hold people's attention for a bit longer, and that seems to be what gets them recommended by YouTube in the background. Adam started watching DM's Craft for D&D stuff, led to the terrain tutor, Luke's APS, and bought your first models. It's a snowball, isn't it, once you start? From D&D stuff, I'm guessing you watch things like High Rollers and stuff as well, do you? I wonder what horror lies behind those red curtains. Do you know what it is? I could show you, but then I'd have to come round to each and every one of you and kill you. But I tell you what's behind that. There's a garage door behind that. It's nothing exciting. I've set out for myself a little bit of a studio in the garage so that I can just come and dive in and video quite quickly. Because when it was in my hobby room, I'm a bit messy when it comes to my hobby. So there's always crap lying about everywhere, and it doesn't look good in the back of my videos. Tabletop oddity saying, I think watch time's the most important in the end. They want you to stay on YouTube. So if people are watching yours for a while and moving on to others, YouTube will probably like you. That's the trick, mate. If you can get recommended into other people's videos on the end of them, or if your video makes them stop and watch another video, and then that one makes them watch another video, that retention of keeping people on YouTube for longer means they see more adverts, which makes YouTube money, and that ultimately that's what it's all about. Floor to ceiling of unpainted models and unopened boxes. He has plastic addiction. No, you're wrong. The garage door's that way. The unopened models and the other stuff are that way. Honestly, I've been tidying up my garage so that I could set this up, and I've got a shelf there that is just full of stuff that I'll probably never ever get to. Terrible, isn't it? High Rollers, Critical Role, D&D channel, Nerdarchy, loads of stuff. I think is it Tabletop Weekly? I think the guy is called Mark Humes. I think he's from Critical Role. I think he is, Critical Role. He does quite a good kind of board game, war game, and kind of weekly roundup and stuff. It's great to have her in the background. Yeah, I like it. I think it's going to come back though. It's Cthulhu. Yeah, Cthulhu hiding through the back there, mate. Interesting, boring bit of trivia for you. I'm actually in a hotel right next to London XL at the moment. Oh, if only Salute was on now, eh? I tell you what, being in London, I really like cities, but I couldn't live in London city centre. That's on a different level. It's a very impressive looking venue from the outside. It is huge, isn't it? Salute doesn't take up the whole thing actually. So I don't know if you've ever been to Birmingham NEC, but it's very similar to that. So when you go inside, there's just loads and loads and loads of kind of sort of convention halls, and I think Salute takes up 2 or 3 of them. What's interesting is Salute always seems to be on the same weekend as the London Marathon, and all the London Marathon runners all go to there's one of the other halls next door. So you have this mixture of all of these super fit, super healthy people, and then all of these kind of slightly overweight or greatly overweight in some cases, kind of bearded black t-shirt. Where I'm generalizing here, I'm sure all you guys are not like this, but in that kind of that mixture of people in the convention halls all at the same time, it's quite interesting to see. Only been to XL once for a Star Trek convention. I'm super cool, guys. I think there was a Sherlock Holmes convention on at the same time as a Salute last time I was there. I seem to watch more YouTubers in the hobby rather than doing it myself. Do you know what it is I do as well? I go into, especially if I go to bed on a night time as well. And my wife tends to get up early with the baby, and I tend to kind of sort of do my share in the evenings. And I tend to stay up a bit later because I'm not as tired, but she falls asleep quite early. So I end up sitting watching YouTube till all hours of the night. I've watched that, not into much of a fan. He's ex-Yogscast. That's the guy, yeah, ex-Yogscast. He's done a few good videos, but it's becoming more and more since he left Yogscast and went on his own as a full-time YouTuber. His videos have become a little bit. I don't really watch them so much these days. Excuse me. As long as there's lots of Michael's videos in there, don't hear saying you have a problem. That's right. Panzer's saying he's got a blue t-shirt on. Nice one, Panzer. The black one's just kept for conventions, is it? I suppose. Actually, I've actually got a black t-shirt on underneath here. So yeah. So I include myself in the bearded black t-shirt brigade. I don't know, overweight slightly, black t-shirt, bearded glasses, also really ill drinking. That may be a northern thing. Yeah, I'm not sure that is a northern thing, actually, is it? I did go through a phase of being a bit of a real ale drinker. So in a previous job, I used to work for Scottish and Newcastle breweries. So I used to get free beer allowance every month, which was quite nice. So they used to have a big container at the entrance to the factory, and you used to fill out what you wanted and then go and pick it up. and we used to do quite a lot of real ale stuff actually. So I used to get a different one each month. Just got a Kickstarter hex labels in my work tonight. Oh, I tell you what, you're gonna have some work on your hands with that Kickstarter, Michael. Believe me. But I tell you what, it's anybody that missed the start of it. Michael's Kickstarter, Never Ending Wars. Have a look for it on Facebook. Goes live on Wednesday. Yeah, the 1st of November. Beard, check, black shirt. Yeah. Do you know what? I don't know what it is about the beard thing. I mean, the beard thing became a bit trendy, didn't it? Like not too long ago, and everybody had beards. So I guess we all started to blend in then. But yeah, I think this is the longest my beard's ever been. It's it looks trimmed because I've just done my hair today, but it's actually a bit scraggy. Don't normally wear black, but I'm getting tubby at least. Yeah, I've piled a bit of beef on recently as well. I think it's all this. I've done less exercise, certainly since my son was born. He's just gone one. I don't get out to go to the gym now as I used to and stuff. And doing YouTube, I suppose, has taken up some of my exercise time. So I've definitely put a few pounds on in the last year. Red Beam Designs, Graham saying good luck with the Kickstarter. Jay saying basically have a beard and no chin. My beard doesn't grow here. So this isn't kind of shaved in this way. It just doesn't grow there. But I'm a little bit jealous that my beard doesn't grow a bit higher. That's just where it grows. It's not really trimmed there. So I would like to have one of these proper big full-on Viking beards, but doesn't. This is about as good as it gets, really. But I traded for hair on my head, that's for sure. Graham saying no beard, definitely overweight. I'll tell you what, mate, you can grow a beard anytime you want and be part of the gang. Just took 2 centimeters off my chin, dog. So there's definitely the beard thing. I always thought of it as very European. So maybe it's just catching on in the UK now. Scott Longworth saying, where do you normally play? As I'm from Berkeley. Welcome, Scott. Don't think we've chatted before. I'm trying to think. Do you're not related to Darren Longworth by any chance, are you? Because I know he's from the Northeast as well. He plays miniature games. I normally play, when I'm in the Northeast, I normally play at Newcastle Warlords, which is kind of, I forget the name of where it is actually now. But if you look on Facebook for Newcastle Warlords, that's where I play now. But I have played at places like Games of War in Seaham. I used to play at Blythe at the Northumbrian Adventurers Guild. So I've played a few different places in the Northeast. Children are good weights when exercising. I find the opposite. I find children are good at putting weight on. So when my son doesn't eat all of his meal, and I've just made it, I feel obliged to make sure that it doesn't go in the bin. So I end up eating twice as much stuff. Would a beard help me lose weight? It doesn't help you lose weight, but it hides your double chin. And if you grow it long enough, it also hides one of your bellies as well. So give it a shot, mate. If I grew a beard, it looked more like Santa than gangster with all the grey. Hey, you can always dye it, mate, can't you? Scott saying, just found your videos. Oh, well, thanks, Scott. I'm nice to have you along, mate. Gandalf is grey. He is. Gandalf's beard was never very impressive, though, was it? Though it was just very straggly. The old till jockey from the Outpost looked like a fantasy dwarf, bald head, 5'3", and a massive ginger beard. There was a guy who used to be at my old gaming group when I used to go to one in Blythe, and he was actually called Baldy Oak, I think was his name on our forum things we had, but he was bald, quite short, beard and stuff. I know exactly what you mean. Have you not tried Whitley Bear? Do you know what it is, Scott? I have heard that there's a gaming group in Whitley Bear, but I'm not sure whereabouts it is or anything like that. And actually, I'm not too far from Whitley Bear. I live in Backworth, which is just kind of just along from Whitley Bear, so it would be quite handy actually. Excuse me while I just get my throat lubricated a little bit. So we've had quite a few in tonight, guys. It's been a really, really good chat, actually. We've been on for an hour now, so I'm probably going to call it soon. But let me know if you could, guys, when I upload this as a live video, if you could come back, comment down in the comments on the video, and let me know what you think of these live chats. Let me have some ideas about what you want. Do you like them just to be a bit of an aimless ramble like this, so we just have a bit of a chat? Do you like them to have a kind of a theme to them, so we can kind of talk about something general, a bit like the Wargamer Online guys do? Let me have a bit of feedback. Tell me what you think of the live chats, and then because I do find them quite interesting. I do like this kind of community type thing. It's quite weird speaking into a camera and not hearing any feedback. That's quite strange. So if anybody's up for being on Skype sometime, maybe you're more than welcome to do it that way. Scott saying it's in the Masonic Hall. Good bunch of lads there called Whitley Bay 3D Gamers. Thanks for that, Scott. I'll definitely check it out. What kind of games do the guys play there? Is it mainly historical stuff, or is it Games Workshop stuff? It'd be interesting to know what kind of stuff that they do. So I think I'm going to call that a night, guys. I'm going to go and do some stuff with the wife now. Don't read anything into that. She's going away for a few days now, so we're just going to sit and have dinner together and maybe watch some TV. Speaking of TV, just started watching. I'm going to tell you about something, and I forgot the name of it now. There's a program on Amazon called Startup. The first series was amazing. Second series, I'm struggling with it, if I'm honest. But if you're wanting something to watch, something a bit different, Startup has Martin Freeman in it. Excellent, really, really good show. There you go. Theme tonight was Halloween, but goes very general. Yeah, it does. I think it's nice to have a theme at the start, because that way it gives me something to chat about until the chat kind of warms up and stuff like that. But yeah, I quite like it going off on a bit of a tangent as well. Have to dash and you end anyway. Been fun. Yep, thanks, Jay. Really appreciate you for coming in as well. Great stuff. Thanks, mate. Good to have a loose theme. Yeah, it's nice to have something, isn't it? I think just to kind of kickstart, just to generate a bit of chat. Bolt action, 28mm, modern, loads of historical, pretty much all sorts. Thanks, Scott. I'll have a look on Facebook at that and check it out, or have a look and see if they've got a website or something. But really appreciate you coming in tonight, and really appreciate you giving me the heads up for that. Do you know what it is, mate? I've never ever seen Star Trek. I've never watched one episode of Star Trek. As much as I love Star Wars, it's not because of that. I've just never seen Star Trek, so I've got no idea. I'm aware there's a new series out, but I've never seen it. Maybe that's my mission this week. Yeah, while the missus is away tomorrow night, I'll put Star Trek on in the background while I'm finishing off that Shakespeare board. Right, folks, I'll call that a night. Thank you very much for being in here. Thank you for watching. If you've watched this back on YouTube. If you're not already a subscriber, please click the subscribe button. If you're not a member of the Facebook group, have a look on Facebook for BlackJack Legacy Facebook group, randomly. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks very much, guys.